My shower, which is located roughly right up here on the 3rd floor, drains out that light fixture here over the 1st floor.
Water, the last place it should be.
This was a significant volume of water. It traveled a long distance, and I don't know how long that's been happening.
New home quality. It ain't all sunshine and rainbows. Before you sign your final paperwork, watch this video, New Build Inspection Fails 2026. So you don't buy a house that's literally falling apart. I'm sure you guys can guess, new home quality, like many things in our society right now, it's not good. That old saying, they don't build them like they used to. It fits new home construction to a T. We build crap now.
Denver woman in this hot housing market, a new home to start a new chapter of her life.
But tonight, problem after problem. She says she's not getting any help from the builders. Good evening, and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Tom Mustin.
And I'm Jacqueline Allen. This woman is now reaching out to Contact 7, and we sent Denver 7's Jason Grenauer to check it out.
I thought I found a great property.
A brand new row home in Denver was just what Rhonda Kelly was looking for.
2 bedrooms, high ceilings, lots of light.
What she actually bought?
This is a nightmare house.
New construction that started falling apart within a few months.
And the problem continues.
Windows that bowed out. Walls that leaked with rain or snow.
We could smell the gas.
An oven tagged as
an explosion hazard.
And finally, the structure of the building itself, discovered by a city engineering review. Rhonda is now stuck with what she calls a lemon house.
I can't use my garage. I can't use my shower. I can't use one of the light fixtures. I can't use my oven.
The builder, Sustainable Design Build, didn't return our emails asking for comment.
I get excuses. I just don't get satisfaction.
Emails from the company show that work on fixing the structural issues was supposed to start in July. The beam was installed in September.
It's 3 months later. The work still hasn't been done. As far as I know, it hasn't been scheduled.
A dream house turned nightmare. She just wants fixed.
The number of issues that I've had is unbelievable. And it makes me fearful for what I haven't noticed yet, for what's going to develop in the future.
So why didn't a home inspection show these problems? Well, since she had a full year warranty, Rhonda says she didn't get one until these issues started popping up. Her inspector told her most of the issues would not have come up before she bought the property. We'll follow up with that builder to see what their plans are.
When it's so bad, you just got to tag the whole house. Look at that. I don't know if I've ever seen it this bad before. If your home has the stucco eaves, you need to be very careful. The state standards say how these builders have to install stucco. Outside with the TikTok electrician said it's optional.
Should is a recommendation, that is not a requirement.
Let's measure the percent of Bluetooth insulation we have here. Yep, looks like 100% Bluetooth insulation. But hey, it doesn't say shall, and the TikTok electricians tell you that's optional. The builder doesn't have to give you the proper amount of insulation. They don't have to give you what you paid for.
Should is a recommendation, that is not a requirement.
Should says, well, you know, if you can, please do this.
And as you can see, they paid extra for 10.4 inches. The minimum requirement is 8.3, and they got half of the minimum requirement, even though they paid over $1,000 for an upgrade. Yeah.
How you doing, man?
Good.
Just a couple questions. How do I get you? First of all, I appreciate what you do. Thank you very much for taking care of us.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, now he's mentioning new construction in Arizona and the building materials in Arizona. I mean, living in the desert heat, it's different than the building materials elsewhere in the country. I remember walking the exterior length of the home from the driveway to the backyard, which is gated, and I see along the exterior of the wall, what would be my living room, there was the wire mesh protruding from the exterior wall. And I looked at it like, this is kind of weird. I'm used to wood frame houses, brick homes. I can't imagine paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for a house that is basically made out of paper mache. When I'm looking at that on the outside, no way, man. Thank God the house I'm referring to I looked at, it was a rental. So I lived in it, but I'm not owning that. How is that an exterior wall?
This is a German wall, made out of bricks and plaster. And look at how thick it is. 10 inches thick.
This is an American wall. It's made out of paper and air. And our exterior walls are made out of the same stuff.
Just a little.
Technically should say Arizona.
The top 5 most common new build inspection fails. I know, guys, it's not the most exciting topic, but it needs to be said. These come up across multiple professional inspector reports, and they can lead to costly repairs, safety risks, or builder punch list items if they're missed. Focus on these during your final or stage walkthrough. Number 1, improper grading and drainage. Now, these are the water management issues. Outside, the ground should slope away from the house at least 6 inches, drop in the first 10 feet. That way you don't have the water all bunching up right against the foundation of the house. You want to check for low spots, pooling areas, negative slope near the foundation, sidewalks, patios, all that. Anywhere water collects near the house, that's a bad thing. And look at the downspouts. Grading after any rain if possible, which I know you're not going to be hanging out of the house for any length of time waiting for it to rain, but if you happen to be at the house and it's raining, you got to check these things out. Electrical wiring and safety issues. Bring an outlet tester, or you can borrow the inspectors. You want to press that test button. Definitely check out all the GFCI outlets. That would be in the kitchen, the bathrooms, possibly the garages. You want to check that all the switches do something, they control something, the lights work, the ceiling fans turn on. You want to make sure there's no double tap breakers. Then you want to look for exposed wires or missing cover plates. Now, I've been in a few houses where you know, flipping the switches. I've always done that. You ever notice, especially in the kitchen, you might go in the kitchen, there's a ton of switches, and you're out there and you're flipping all the switches, like flip one on, I didn't see the light come on, it wasn't the garbage disposal, the light above the sink didn't come on. Usually, in my personal experience, I see the dead switch in the kitchen area. Number 3, plumbing leaks, connections, or installation problems. Run hot and cold water at every faucet, shower, and tub. Simultaneously check the pressure and drainage. That's an easy thing to do. You want to flush every toilet multiple times. Watch if it's a slow refill, weak flushing, gurgling sounds. You want to inspect underneath all the under all the sinks, around the water heater, laundry area. Look for the drips, the wet spots. Here, I remember checking out a rental, and I didn't see any drips when I'm looking underneath the kitchen sink, but the bottom of the cupboard where the kitchen sink is exposed to, I saw a bunch of water damage. You could see the spots. Although it's dry, when I took a look at the place, you could see the damage. So obviously, there was, at best, a problem in the past, but it could still be a current problem because it's easy for a showing. Wipe it all up, show it everything looks good, but you already see the damage. I saw the damage there. I've seen damage in the ceiling, water damage. Water damage is very easy to spot because it leaves that stain, usually a light brown stain. Lastly, you want to listen for unusual noises in the pipes. You want to confirm the water heater works. Number 4 is the HVAC system and ductwork. You want to check those for issues. Turn the system on, the heater, the AC. You want to verify the thermostat responds when you're turning on the AC and the heater. You want to check every supply and return vent for strong, consistent airflow. You could put your hand up to it. You could take a tissue and see if it's blowing hard enough for you. If it's weak, you know you're going to have a problem off the bat. It'd be better for it to be blowing too hard than too little. I lived at a place where the AC in my living room, it blew exceptionally hard out of one vent and exceptionally cold. I'm not complaining. That's better as I live in the desert. That's much better than it's blowing weak and not cold enough. You want to listen for unusual noises, the rattling, whistling. And if you're in the attic or crawl space, if you have that available, you want to look for insulation ducts without sags, kinks, gaps. Insulation's a big thing. A lot of these new constructions, they go cheap on the insulation. They don't put enough up there. And number 5, inadequate or poorly installed insulation and air sealing, what I was just referring to. If you got attic access, you want to check for even coverage to the required R value. No gaps, especially at the eaves up there. You want to make sure there's a consistent level of insulation. Feel for drafts around the windows, doors, outlets. You want to look for visible gaps in exterior wall insulation if there's any exposed areas or unsealed penetrations. Insulation is a big thing, especially if you live in the extreme heat or extreme cold. You got to have good windows. If you don't, you're going to be hurting. I just mentioned that I lived in the desert before. I've also lived in the extreme north where they have snow for half of the year. And your windows, they're worth the investment. If you got cheap windows and it gets cold for a long period of time with a lot of snow, the condensation, it will just go straight through the window. I had it in my house where ice started building up the outside of the window. It goes through the glass. It presents itself on the interior. It will literally have a sheet of ice at the windowsill. And then because you're in the house, and I'd have the heater on, that chunk of ice would then start to melt. It melts the ice, you have a pool of water on the windowsill. And if it's wood, and most of the time it is, it starts to damage the wood. Here's your 5 to look for, plus the bonus tips. I know, it's not too exciting to talk about, yet I think it needs to be said because this little bit of effort you put forward at the beginning to be proactive could save you endless headaches and thousands of dollars when it's all said and done. You gotta look out for yourself because these guys aren't going to do it.
We make contact here, not here.
Water pressure should be between 40 and 80 instead of 100.
I just want to open it to test it, but the whole thing comes up out the floor.
It says GFCI, but it ain't tripping.
We got a broken window sill already on the new construction. No way to change the speed to the ceiling fan because the chains aren't even installed.
This is loose. Here's some hinges. This is loose.
I hate these stalkers with a passion. It's too much work. Whenever they're sealing the windows, I never understand why they install the caulking over loose pieces of mortar. See? Now it's open.
This is damaged. Cracks and damages at the sidewalk. Standing water at the sidewalk area. Oh shoot, I almost fell. This bubbler looks great. This one needs to be adjusted.
Take a look at the stucco. Exposed corner beads all broken out. Definitely not supposed to be like this. Checking for things at eye level or above is really easy. Never forget to look underneath. Look at all the stucco broken out and unsealed. This goes through the concrete block. Definitely a no bueno. They're gonna say this is a cosmetic issue, but this drip edge is definitely dripping, but not dripping the way it's supposed to be dripping. It's supposed to be dripping with water, not paint. Take the straight edge real quick. You see right here? I'm gonna put the straight edge up against it, and then you'll see what's going on. Okay. You want to get on this angle? Every single one of these panels is completely bent. That's why I put all this blue tape here. But every single one of them is completely damaged. Okay. So I'm inspecting this house, but it's always important to look around to the home surrounding it to see what the patterns are. Look at this concrete block. This hole goes all the way through the wall. The lath up top is exposed, and there is a giant hole in the side of this house. I hope these buyers have inspectors. The theme of this inspection is that things go from bad to worse. Look at this lock. It's not even aligned correctly. It's completely bent, but look at this. There's no way. Look at this. Jesus. It doesn't even move. Bad to worse. Look. Overspray, a little bad. The way they finished this tile edge is way worse. You can see every single screw, so they didn't finish the drywall behind it. How do you even get paint all the way over here? You don't have to look too far to see the variances in insulation depth. By the entrance, nice and deep and fluffy, but if you look a little bit down deeper, you see that huge drop off in depth, except for that random mound by that marker. It would make a big difference if this insulation certificate had any information on it at all, but it's completely blank. I'll see you in the next inspection. Bye!
They built a bunch of shitty box colonials out of cheap materials and convinced you all that this is what you wanted, that this was luxury and that this was the American dream. Why did we stop building homes like this? Look how welcoming that is. Nice front porch, beautiful architecture. You can build this new. You can build it better, more insulated, beautiful finished basement that doesn't look like where Jeffrey Dahmer hides his midnight snack. But why did we start building homes like this? I don't understand it. Everything looks the same these days. These box colonials made out of cheap materials that everybody seems to love. I know you all fall in love with the interiors of those homes because of their open concept floor plans. You can have the same thing in this.
Bonus tips for your walkthrough. You have your phone on you. Make good use of it. Take photos, videos, bring a tester, an outlet tester, bring a level. You want to check the drywall. Hire an independent contractor that specializes in new constructions, because lots of times they're going to catch things that the municipal inspector won't. You want to document everything in writing. And then with the builder, you can confirm in writing before closing these are potential issues. If you enjoyed my video, share, like, and subscribe. It really helps my channel. And leave a comment. I want to hear from you guys. What are your stories when it comes to new construction? Have you run into any problems? If so, what were they? How'd you handle them? I appreciate your time. I'll see you soon.